Never mind the bullocks. I'll be quick. Living comes easy when you're a high-end security guard, but I'm not. I'm a social engineer. So life comes to me even easier because I pretend to be a security guard and walk into wherever I want, stealing what I want. Sometimes it's items, sometimes it's knowledge, and sometimes it's both. And that's exactly what I got that one time when I dropped into Fox Studios of New York, New York, unexpected. Yeah, box of donuts, dressed up as a janitor, great big old shit-eating grin on my face. I don't actually eat shit, or donuts for that matter. And they let me into the back room, the server room. But I wasn't after servers. I didn't care about hacking their internet or fudging with their HVAC system. I wanted a rumor that bothered me as a fan to be either confirmed or denied. I needed answers. Black or white, no shades of gray. Speaking of black, or really, brown, a voice actor who played a certain mustached Family Guy character gave me an answer one day when I was cleaning out his wastebasket. Yes, there was a long lost flashback that was originally going to be released inside of a Family Guy episode. Going off the clues he dropped, it sounded like the one called P-Tarded, in which Peter takes an IQ test to see if he's a genius, but his results come back rather low on the IQ scale. But the network wouldn't have it. You might wonder why that surprised me. Doesn't Family Guy allow for anything? There's bloodied corpses, domestic violence, various forms of rape, sexual assault. I guess that's all I need to say. But yeah, for some reason, this particular act of censorship did bother me. It stuck in my craw like an OCD fellow picking out his least favorite flavor of M&Ms and or Skittles out of the candy dish. Imagine if you mix them both. Mandiddles, Skimmy-Ms, whatever. I guess the exact word doesn't matter, unless you're OCD. And on this matter, I was. And even after getting my answers, still am. I gained access to the tape reel room, and I stole it. Won't say how, but I learned that it was the reel. The one with the abandoned flashback scene on it, and nothing but. I wasn't high enough on the food chain, so to speak, to bypass the security measures that allowed you to sneak off the premises with the reel, so I snuck it into a room with a projector, and I watched it, realizing I was risking a jail sentence, not just for the theft, but for impersonating a Fox employee. I shook in anticipation, but in hindsight, I should have been spasming in terror after I got the reel, regrettably, up and rolling. Peter, I think Lois is really mad this time. Brian, the super intelligent but socio-politically naive family dog, dryly remarked to Peter. Despite being a dog, he talked casually and with sophistication and drank martinis. That was supposed to be funny. Aw, come on, Brian. It can't be any worse than that time I played sandlot basketball with Wilt the Stilt. I could feel the smile spread from ear to ear, and my pupils dilate in, yes, anticipation. Oh, what a fool I was. Whenever Peter Griffin says something like what he just said, it's a setup for one of those timeless flashbacks. Like when Time for Timer sings the Hanker for a Hunk of Cheese song in Peter's apartment, just to reveal that he smoked a whole lot of crack, or something about sucking a famous female celebrity's breast milk. I forget how that one goes. The flashback began. Peter Griffin could be seen walking to an urban basketball court, side by side with Philadelphia Warriors and 76ers legend Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain, a nickname that Wilt did not much care for in real life. Peter was wearing a basketball tank top with a logo on it resembling Ernie the Giant Chicken's head. He was the foul-mouthed fowl that he is known to fight for. I forget why. Family Guy jokes usually aren't worth remembering vividly. Aw, gee, Wilter Stilt, it sure was nice for you to invite me to a game of pickup basketball. Don't mention it, Peter. Then, for no reason, something horribly stupid and disappointing happened. Wilt Chamberlain turned into a 7-foot tall stilt, and he stood there, and the frame more or less stayed still, other than that Peter blinked his eyes again and again for half a minute. And then the film ended. Oh, bloody heck. What a waste. Iris prison time for this? I smashed my head against the desk I was sitting at repeatedly, not caring in the moment whether I got caught or what. But then, as it turned out, the film wasn't actually over yet. But the going to static and then gray had been nothing more than an elaborate ruse, perhaps to ward off people like me who gained unauthorized access to the film. So yes, it was then that I saw it. And my life was, more or less, ruined forever. The scene resumed. Brian blinked at Peter for half a minute and then he vomited out his martini. It looked like green Nickelodeon slime, but I didn't think much of it. Once Brian was done puking out his guts through his canine incisors, Peter began to speak something unsettling. Brian. Peter paused, but just a typical conversational pause when you're about to say something thoughtful. My life was over ever since I... Brian's eyes widened like he does every time he's in fear for his life. Don't say it, Peter, he yelled. No, Brian, Peter, if you say it, it's going to ruin all those years of therapy you forced yourself through. Lois thought the world of you for conquering those demons. And the kids, even Stewie. You know the vile crap that comes out of that kid's mouth that we pretended for years that we couldn't actually hear. Brian. Oh no. Oh, Peter was going to say it. Whatever it was. This is even worse than that time that I leant back in my chair, nearly hit the freaking wall behind me. It must have been a foot or two away from me, at least. There was a freaking screamer jump scare. That famous The Scream painting, along with a buzzingly loud piano or organ chord, as if played through a filter that only enhanced noise damage rather than reduced it. But that was nothing. I don't think it was a troll job. I think it was intended to prepare me. Peter was sobbing at Lois's bedside. She was in a hospital gown. Judging by the design of the walls and the doctor and nurse stuff on the table, yes, it clearly was a hospital. The drugs didn't work, Peter, Lois stated in a defeated tone of voice, as if she reached the acceptance stage of the 5 steps of grief and dying. Let me see the x-rays. Peter was sobbing. I deserve to. The doctor, the usual guy with the black comb mustache, handed Peter some sheets. The footage revealed them to be Stewie's skull. I don't know how to tell you this, but the fetus termination pills just elongated your child's head in a freakish horizontal oblong shape somehow, the doctor informed the gloomy cartoon couple. Oh, he'll live, but he'll be teased heavily. All of the other children Some immature adults, too, will taunt him and call him a freak. Like you just said, Lois casually remarked. Like I just said. The, the doctor dipped a plastic spoon or fork, I couldn't really tell, into a can of Alpo dog food and began to eat it. That isn't funny, Peter remarked. I know, the doctor seemingly reflexively replied. That wasn't too different from a usual Family Guy episode, but the next part wasn't. There were, I don't know how to say it, but spiders, lots of them. Dark, gothic, all the eyes. And there's something about the way the real life nature film snippets of them scurried around the hospital cartoon room. That's not the worst part. The worst part is that they were frantically escaping from Lois's vagina. I did not want to look at Lois Griffin's cartoon vagina, but I couldn't turn away from the film. Oh, that's what we call pre-birth. It's kind of like afterbirth, but before the birth, the doctor said. One of the spiders suddenly grew the size of Dr. Hartman and ate him whole, like Joey Chestnut at a sports talk radio hot dog eating contest. I threw up. The spiders transitioned to Halloween cartoon spiders, and I guess this was supposed to lighten up the mood. So they wore little straw boater hats, so we had to sing like a barbershop quartet, except that there were hundreds of them at least. They snapped their fingers and began to sing. Ooh, 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 ooh. You failed as a father. Ooh, you failed as a man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You failed as a comic. Ooh, your memory's bad. Ooh, 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 ooh. Give it 5 seconds. Ooh, you'll start to forget. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Except for your conscience. Ooh, ooh. You poison your kid. Ooh, 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 ooh. Peter put his head in his hands and sobbed. Not the over-dramatic cartoon crap you sometimes see in Family Guy where he convulses like a little girl. It broke me. Did you hear that singing? Peter managed to squeak out. No, Mr. Griffin. I've had enough patience to know that this is the beginning of your hallucinations. Where was the doctor's voice coming from? The scene faded back to Peter and Brian. And that's why you have all the flashbacks, Peter. And that's why I have all the flashbacks, Brian. We act like I always had them. But I didn't. A single teardrop fell from Brian Griffin's eye. I I guess this is goodbye, old friend. Peter sobbed again, though this time in the present. It's, it's time that we part ways, Brian. Peter left the house and began walking down the road. He became an itinerant bum, traveling the country, but clearly poor and beaten up. His cheeks were torn, hair frayed, patchy with bald spots. Shots of the Griffin household were shown rotting into the ground, but in claymation, as the sky turned red as if it was Martian or a post-apocalyptic world or something. No zombies, skeletons, anything corny like that. Eventually, the house just looked burnt down. I don't know how I could tell this. I guess the Martian looking mountainous terrain in the background, but I could tell that the air was unbreathable. I hate to say it, but I think I saw a swastika carved into the bedrock. That might have been a coincidence in a shape that just happened to form organically. Why did this scene bother me the way that it did when Family Guy had so much of this chaos and nonsense and pushing the envelope already in it? I don't know. Might have been because of the dramatic pacing, the lack of a punchline, and the lack of a transition back to something lighter hearted. That was when the reel actually ended. I wanted to set it on fire, but I decided I'd rather just not go to prison over something like that. I put it back in its canister and never returned. Nobody followed me or anything, so I guess they never figured out what I had done. I had disabled part of the security system anyway, so maybe that was enough. Of course, if they recognize my voice, I guess I'm going to jail. But it's worth it. I just can't live with all of this on my chest without telling another soul anymore. I guess this is my therapy? Just like Peter had his? Oh, I don't care if you watch Family Guy. It's your life. But anytime I see any of it, anywhere, in any form, cartoon or not, I can feel my eyes beginning to tear up.